Hello, everyone. I hope you had an amazing Resurrection Sunday, which is today. Jesus has risen. Okay, oh my gosh, when you follow Christ, this is one of your favorite sounds in the ear because it just has a whole nother meaning to you. It's not just Easter bunnies and some eggs and some cute colors, which that's cute, but it's really about Jesus. And so, and think of today, it's also a day of whether you're with friends or family. And so today, me and Shalom are going to be talking about godly friendships. Whether you're younger, whether you're older, friendships are just such a core of just so much of your life. So much. Even before you're in a relationship, with a spouse, a future spouse or something, that friendship is the core of everything. And so Shalom's going to tell you how we met and everything. But yeah.
Okay, so how me and Gabby met. We've known each other since freshman year. So we both go to JMU. We're graduating this year. We're both seniors. If we have a graduation. So basically we met freshman year. And there's another girl also. So it's three of us. So it's me, Talia, and Gabby. And when I met them, I was born into a Christian family. So my view, but I've always had friends who weren't Christians or, friends who didn't really believe in God. And especially moving to the United States, I just was exposed to so many kinds of people where I'm from, we have a religion-based society where it's Orthodox or Bede or Muslim. So it's everyone has a religious background. But then when I moved to America, it was just different. There was people who didn't believe in God, so I had to adjust to that. When I met Gabby, I was a Christian, and she had her say about Christians a lot. She had a lot to say about Christians back in the day because her view on Christians
was cultural Christianity, not Jesus is Lord, the gospel.
Exactly. And so walking into the friendship, I was never judgmental. I just loved her, and I knew what I believed in and what I stood for, and I just told her what was real to me. I never wanted to change her. I never wanted to make her like me. I just wanted to show her what was real to me and who Jesus was for me.
Yeah. And so, how did we meet then?
Oh, so we met, where did we meet? We met, I can't remember.
It was freshman year, first week of college, which was culture shock. I'm from 7'5". Coming to JMU is a little different. It's a little different. But yeah.
Because our other friend Talia, she's from 7'5" also. And I'm from Ethiopia, but Gabby thought I was from Nova. So she was just
she's from Nova here.
Yeah, she was just she's so nice. Why is she so nice? And for her, it came out fake, but that was really who I was. And that's who I continued to be in our friendship. And she was okay, I guess that's really who she is. So yeah.
I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at the person behind this camera. But yeah, so it's a lot different. So we met, and then we had a falling out. It wasn't over apple juice. That was one of our arguments. But we lived together for 2 years, and so this was in the junior year. This was a couple months after I had just committed my life to Christ, and me and her were both in Christ together. And so we had falling out for a year, and me and her just now start talking back a couple months back. And so and thinking about godly friendships, it's not gonna always be perfect, and it's not always gonna be this is just butterflies and sparkles and unicorns. Bruh, that's not always friendships. And so in thinking about that, it's and this is what my question is for Shalom. How do you know when to break away from a friendship, and then also what qualities how can personal qualities come into making or breaking a friendship? So for instance, for me, she had called me out about oh Gabby, you're too prideful, you want to be an independent woman, which I'm gonna step out. But she had to call it out, and then I had to call some other things on her about before, and then we had separated for a year. And so how would you answer that? Would you say?
I really think that so godly friendships, firstly, I feel for me personally, when I developed a relationship with God, which is really this year, where I truly just really wanted to follow God and only God, then he started placing, and I gave him full control over my life. He started bringing people into my life that he wanted to bring, and people that were meant for my life, meaning people that I was purposeful for, and people that served me purpose as well. So then he started taking out people that didn't serve me purpose anymore, and that I didn't serve purpose anymore. So when you get with God, then he brings the people in your life that need to be in your life, whether they're Christians, whether they're not. He's just going to surround you with certain kinds of people that you can grow with. See, God is always, when he's in your life and you accept him as your Lord and Savior, he always wants you to grow, and he always wants you to further yourself. And he needs people that can fit that for you, and that you can fit for others also. So, yeah.
And then the other question, like, when you break up from, because say somebody's watching, right, and like they aren't friends with somebody, and they're like, okay, I don't know, like if God needs me to break away from this person, or so like when you break, how do you know when to break away from someone, would you say? And then like, can you talk about like, you know, like when we like separated, you know?
So me, Gabby, and Talia, so my cousin who used to pray for us and he used to prophesy into my life, he would always tell me things that would happen in my life. And I always thought he was crazy, because we were perfectly fine at the time. And I was like, why are we going to fight? There's no reason for us to fight. He said, no, God's going to need all of you guys separated so that he can do his work in you guys. Individually. And he said, you will be separated for a certain amount of time. And that was crazy to me, because I didn't see it happening. And there was a lot of other things that he said would happen in my life. So come 2 years later, so then after a couple of months, we all fought, and it was over something very little, but it turned out to be something very big, because we just ended up not talking, and I was just being dramatic too, and a lot of things were happening. But then I feel like everything that happened was God's will. And because to come a year later, it's my senior year, I became an RA. Gabby was doing her thing, we all separated, Talia was moved out, she went to a different house, and a year later, Gabby was growing in faith, and I was, struggling to come back to God, because I felt like I lost my way. And then Talia was doing talls, so Gabby reached out and she said, hey, you guys, so I opened up my Bible one day, and I saw Talia and me in the Bible was a picture of us, and I broke down crying, and it reminded me of everything that I went through, and how I handled the situation. It wasn't the right way to handle it. So I just prayed. I got down on my knees. I prayed for an hour. I said, God, I feel bad. I'm going to text these people, and you do what your will. Let your will be done as you promised me, because my cousin said some things about our relationship that we would further grow together, but God would separate us. So I reached out to Gabby and Talia, and they received me with love, and I knew they were my family, because that's how family is. No matter what happens, you just receive each other, and those are just godly relationships. So we came back together, and everything worked out really nice.
Yes.
We all went to church, and
They cried. We even got through the first worship song. I'm like, that's God right there, cause let me tell you, boy. Okay, and so another question I have. So okay, that's having a godly friendship, right? It's not perfect and everything, but also say, how do you know? Cause there's some people say if they have friends and they broke away from them, how do you know when to allow God to direct your friendship? Where it's okay, this person should be in your life versus it's people you need to remove. So how do you know that?
Everyone's different. God does things differently for everybody, but for me specifically, he just started pulling people out. I started seeing things. So you really know. That's the thing. You need to get with God. You need to ask him. You need to develop that relationship with him for him to have your back and look out for you, So as I started growing in God, I saw other people that weren't growing in God, and maybe they were, but they weren't benefiting me, I wasn't benefiting them, and he started showing me that more and more. So then as time went on, I started hurting. That's when God is removing people from your life, because you start hurting. And it's kind of like you were comfortable with them, and then God takes you out of that comfort, and he makes you you fight to stay with that person and you fight to have that person in your life, but he continues to pick and pull and all these other things, and to the point where you're just like, okay, I don't want this person in my life anymore. So he kind of leads you into that path of like deciding for yourself, hey, I don't want that, and then he listens to you. And it's crazy because he's involved all throughout. Like, he's involved from the beginning till the end. Like, once you let him, it's crazy. So he just pulled out everybody that didn't really serve me purpose anymore, that wasn't benefiting me. And yeah, so yeah, just get with God and he will give you your own like he'll walk you through it in his own way. You can't really have other people's experience, but he'll give you your own individual experience, and he'll remove what needs to be removed. So
that's true.
Yeah.
What is the importance of having God in a friendship? How is it different than other friendships when like God is at the center of your friendship? Like, whether it's like disagreements, whether it's good times, whether it's like friends becoming family, like what's the difference?
The difference is that God is in control. And when God is in control, there is order and there's peace and there's looking out for one another and understanding one another, and you don't have toxicity. Like, it's not toxic. Does that make sense? So like,
it's not like God, I gotta be with this person. You know?
It's comfortable too. That's another word. Let's just use that word. It's comfortable because it just flows.
It's not forced. Like, oh, I gotta go hang out with this person. Oh, like I have to. And some people like to put a timeline on it. Like, oh, I've been friends with this person for 10 years, so that means we gotta be friends forever. It's like, bro, if somebody ain't for you, they not for you. You know? And so like, no one ever ask God.
And the thing is this, okay, so as Christians, we have, like, for us, our faith is that our God is in us and he directs us, and it's not even just like a one-time thing, it's an everyday thing. We wake up,
put some salt in
that. We wake up and God is speaking to us, and you know, before I would think, oh, he's actually talking. No. He directs you. He gives you a thought, an idea, an action that you act on. You know what I'm saying? Like, he tells you, get up, do this, and you just know it's him because it works out good in the end. So when you develop godly friendships and godly relationships, God is checking you, and you know for a fact that he's checking the other person. So when he's checking the other person, then you are comfortable and you know you're in a safe place. Whereas other relationships where you don't really know who's, you know, in control, you don't know how that person can bring you down or take away or, you know, drain you. That's really what it is. Like, I know when I didn't have God, I was a draining person. I probably drained people because I was very, and I'm just going to be transparent here, I was very, like, needy. Like, I always needed something, or, you know, and I never gave back. Like, it was always me, and I didn't realize it. See, God gives you that realization.
It's a relationship.
Once you develop that relationship with him, then he teaches you how to act and how to be with other people, and then you have peaceful relationships. And not only that, when you're with God, you know how to check your flaws. See, when you're not with God, pride gets in the way, and you don't know how to check yourself. Like, so then you're not really benefiting yourself, and you're really being toxic to the other person as well. So I would just rather have people that are like walking in faith and walking with God, and also have discipline and order and, like, you know, just heart, really.
How does accountability come in, like, when you have a godly friendship?
So when you have godly friendships
versus worldly friendships, you know.
So when you have godly friendships, it's nice because they keep you in check with everything. Like, so you tell them, so you're always open, and you always need, you can't have all the Christians be your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need, like, that one person.
It's authentic.
Because, you know, sometimes some people could come off judgy or condescending. Or, you know,
don't do that.
Yeah. So you need that one person that was in the gutter with you. Like with Zills, me and her have been through a lot. We've been through our sinful nature. We've seen each other at our lowest. And now we're at this point in our lives where we're both, like, grown and rooted in Christ. So, like, I can come to her and be like, hey, Zills, like, I'm struggling with this. And she could just be like, all right, we're going to pray about it. And, you know, we're going to get through it because she's experienced it and I've experienced it. See? So, yeah. So that's what accountability is. It's just not judgmental, because I know Christians can take accountability and take it all the way, like, manipulate it to the way they want it to be, but it's more love oriented. You just trying to look out for your friend, and you're also hearing from God too. That person needs to be hearing from God before they tell you what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't come from God and it's coming from them, that's not really going to help you as a person.
And it's them just talking out their butt. They're not listening to God.
Yeah.
That's good. Any other advice on godly friendships? Like, do you want friends who are just for a season, or you want family?
I want family, but I do believe that people are going to come in my life for a season, but I pray, that's my hope and my prayer, is that I can benefit that person. See, if anyone's ever crossed paths with me and you're not in my life anymore, I still have love for you. I'm still praying for you.
Yeah.
There's a reason you came into my life. So I don't mind seasonal friendships as long as I'm still rooted in Christ and they're not affecting me.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
But really, I want people that I can grow with, and because I'm going to see that person when I'm in God's kingdom. So I need godly friendships too, which are family, essentially, because God's our ultimate Father and we're His children. So
it's true. And God will do abundantly and exceedingly more than you can ever imagine. And even with people you're around, it's like whatever level you're going to, it's like that person like next to you, like your reflection of the top 5 people you spend the most time with. So the people you're around, like, they should be leveling up too, you know? It shouldn't just be like, oh, I'm here, and then like, yeah, they're still doing this. Like, no. Like, y'all all going up together. And so, yes. So, thank you so much. Oh, you're going.
Because I feel like God doesn't leave any sheep behind. It's never a competition in God's kingdom. See, like, people think that you have to go to heaven to be in God's kingdom, but you're in God's kingdom on earth as well. God is in us. Heaven is in us. So He is always looking out for His kids. He does not place anyone above anybody, because in the end, we're all inheriting gold. We're all inheriting diamonds and all the stuff that people fight for and kill for in this world. But most importantly, He teaches us to really make Him our ultimate goal, like Him, being with Him, knowing Him, not riches, not fame, not any of that. So it's just a whole different walk. So yeah.
Love it. Well, thank you to Shalom for coming up, and I'll see y'all all next week.